Hello everyone, I'm Becky Goldsmith with Piece of Cake, and I want to show you how to make a very cute and sparkly sequin ball. You'll want to gather your supplies. This is a kit that I have on my website currently. It will only be there for a limited time. It includes foam balls, the wire, beads, sequins, glue, and the little trays to hold your beads. The wire I'm using is 24 gauge wire. It's just heavy enough. You can bend it, which comes in handy. The first thing I did was take an ice pick to put a hole through the center of the ball. And to help me line up the ice pick, I got a spool of 40 weight King Tut and put it on top and did my best to center it. And then I shoved the ice pick through. It didn't keep it dead center, but it was pretty close. And then I used the ice pick to go ahead and poke all the way through. And I went ahead, because the ice pick is tapered, and opened the hole a little wider on the other side. Next, I put glue out onto a tray. I happen to have this silicone tray. You can put it out on a paper plate or some other dish. This that I'm wrapping around my ball is a 1/2-inch piece of felted wool because I thought it would be pretty. You don't have to do this at all. You could add fabric, you can add ribbon, you can add rickrack, and that's true all over the ball. You can add all kinds of things beyond just sequins. I ran a line of glue around the big middle of the ball. I cut it where it overlapped, and then I pinned the join in place. Next, I dumped sequins out into the little tray, and then I decided I needed to see them better, so I spread them out over the table. Then you take one pin. This is a 3/4 inch pin by Dritz, and I put a sequin bead on it, and those are part of the kit. It turns out that the head on the pins are big enough and the holes on the sequins are small enough that you don't always need to use the bead on the pin. But if you want to add that little bit of extra texture, I think it's nice. And then you pick up a sequin, and then you dip the point of the pin in the glue and you poke it into the ball. And the glue, travels up the length of the pin and probably deposits at the base of the sequin. It just helps to hold everything in place a little better. So you just repeat. Pick up a pin, pick up a bead, pick up whichever sequin you want, dip it in the glue, poke it in the ball. If you can, poke the pin in as straight as you can. They look better, and they probably stay in a little better than if you're jamming them in at all different angles. And from this point forward, you get to decide what pattern you want, what color sequins, what color beads. I decided I wanted to separate my stack from the small sequins and the big sequins, so I did some of that. And then I started putting on big sequins. You can have a pattern and follow a pattern or not. I know that I gave my ball where I had it to Judy, who took it home, and I'm not sure who in their household was poking sequins into the ball, but they decided to have a more or less random pattern, which is also good because it's very festive. Once you get the ball as decorated as you want, get the ice pick or whatever you use to poke through the ball and reestablish the hole that you poke through the big center. The top hole is probably going to be more centered than the bottom hole because it's really easy for that one to wander off. So make sure that you know which one is top and which one is bottom. Take the wire and about 3/8 of an inch from the end, bend it over just like that. Put a bead on the wire and then pick up a sequin and then scoot the sequin down to the end where the wire's bent and the bead is inside that bend, and get both ends of the wire through the hole on the sequin. It's possible you may have to open the hole in the sequin just a little bit more, maybe with your ice pick or a stiletto, but you can usually get the wire through. And then scoot the bead down to the end of the loop in the wire, and maybe use some pliers to squeeze the wire a little more closed. Scoot the sequin all the way down as far as you can, and then I put a little bit of glue underneath that sequin, and then you feed the wire from the bottom through the top so that the sequin and the bead nestle against the bottom of the ball. Then you turn your attention to the top of the ball. I used a toothpick and put a little more glue at the top. I put a sequin on the wire, snuggled it down toward the ball. Next, hold the wire, and right in there above my fingers, I got my pliers, and I bent the wire over to make another almost a U. And then I took my pliers and held the bent over loop and took the free end of the wire and wrapped it around to make a loop at the top that I could put a like an ornament hanger through. You wrap it as tight as you want to, so you might find it easier to use 2 pliers. I think I did toward the end. Then use your wire cutters to cut off the excess wire. And there you go. You can string a hanger through the end of the ball. If you don't like the look of the exposed stem of the hanger, you can cover it with something. You could cover it with a little bit of ribbon or a little bit of wool. Or you can do what I did in 2020 when I made a whole bunch of these. I got some copper foil and cut little flags out, and I wrote the date with a stylus on the foil and wrapped that around just as a little thing on the end. The beautiful part is this is your choice to decorate as you choose. And I'd like to add that this is a really fun project to do with kids, to do with grandkids, to do with friends. You know, you just sit and it's not deep thoughts. You're just picking up a bead, picking up a sequin, a little bit of glue, shove it in the ball. They're fun. They make excellent gifts. I hope you've enjoyed this how-to. I hope you can see the possibilities and all of the many ways you can take a foam object. It could be a ball, it could be an egg, it could be a wreath, all the things. How you can take those and make them bright and sparkly and fun. Thanks for watching. Have a good time.